Hi, my friends. It's Miss Holly. I'm from the East Grand Rapids branch, and I'm here with Adam. He is from the Caledonia branch in the Bookmobile, which is very cool. And we also have Mr. Fred. He's behind my swing. Hi, Fred. Freddy. Fred. Hello, Fred. Yeah, he's there. And we are chilling on the front porch because it is summer, and I can't think of a better place to talk about summer graphic novels. And you know what? It's always a good time to find a beach, to find a hammock, maybe when you're camping, and just to find a great place, summery place to read some good graphic novels. So today, I'm going to talk to you about a few of my favorites that I found. All right, so first off, it is Shirley and Jamila Save Their Summer by Gillian Gertz. And this is exactly what you think a summer should be. I mean, maybe you guys enjoy going to your community pool. Maybe it's camps. Maybe you have a science camp or dance camps that you like to go to. Maybe you like playing basketball, like Jamila. So Jamila and Shirley are from a bigger town. You can see it on the cover here. It is Toronto. You see the needle there. This is Toronto, Canada. So that's a really big, diverse city full of lots and lots of people. And Jamila just moved into a new neighborhood. And so she doesn't really know anybody, doesn't really have any new friends. And so her mom is at a garage sale, and so is Shirley. So this is Shirley, this is Jamila. And they meet each other at this garage sale, and they learn that their parents have signed them up for these summer camps that they don't really want to go to. So Jamila was signed up for a science camp, and Shirley was signed up to go to dance camp. And what Jamila really wants to do is play her basketball down at the local basketball court like all summer long. It's her favorite activity. And Shirley just wants to do what Shirley does. All right, so Shirley's kind of an awkward child, doesn't make friends very easily, so it's an interesting combination. But they befriend each other, and they have this great idea that they're going to convince their parents to let them hang out together at the basketball court instead of going to camp, which I think is brilliant, because honestly, I would love to spend my time at a basketball camp. I mean, I like playing basketball. It's just fun shooting hoops. So so they end up agreeing to let them do this. So it's a new neighborhood, it's a big neighborhood. They have to sign a contract. And that contract is that they will not leave the basketball court. They'll go directly there, they'll stay there, they'll come directly back to their homes. And they can't, browse the neighborhood or go off on any other adventures. So all is well until they're at the basketball court, and Oliver, a neighborhood kid, shows up frantically and needs Shirley's help. And there's been a lot of kids showing up and asking Shirley for help. It's kind of mysterious, and Jamila really hasn't figured Shirley out. They're just getting to know each other. And so Oliver shows up and says, "Shirley, I've lost my gecko. I was at the pool, the community pool. I had my stuff there, but things have been getting stolen, and someone stole my backpack. And inside my backpack was my pet gecko. So help me find it. Solve this case." Well, evidently, Shirley, she's kind of like this kid detective, all right? And which is really cool. So they have a mystery, and they have a problem to solve, and that is who stole the backpack and who has the gecko, and is the gecko still safe? I mean, it was pretty kind of risky for Oliver to take the gecko to the pool in the first place and think that it wasn't gonna get out or, stolen or whatever. Anyway, I hope Oliver learned his lesson. So lo and behold, Shirley is a detective, and they go off and they try to solve this case. Now, will they solve the case? You'll have to read the book. All right. This is a lovely graphic mystery novel that will keep you in suspense. The graphics are colorful, and the plot makes it a page turner for sure. Not only are you wrapped up in solving the case of a missing gecko, you find yourself drawn to the characters of Jamila and Shirley. The story unfolds and their friendship grows, but now without some ups and downs. So just like a normal new friendship, right? So Shirley and Jamila save their summer. Check it out. All right, and now I'm gonna move on to the next one. Another really great one called Allergic. And this is kind of why I wanted Fred the dog to be out here, but it's kind of hot for him, so he's like shoved himself in the corner on my cement porch, which is fine. It's his cool spot. But this is about Maggie. And Maggie is a 10-year-old, and her dream from when she was probably just old enough to think about getting a pet has always wanted a dog. And she comes from a bigger family. So she has 2 twin younger brothers who are very, very active. And her mother is pregnant with their 4th child. And so they said, okay, Maggie, maybe when you're 10 and things are right and it's a good time, we will get you a dog. So the day comes. It's her 10th birthday. And she is so excited. She could barely eat her breakfast before they run off to the vet, or not the vet, but the animal shelter or adoption agency to get their dog. So the first thing she does, she busts in the door and she is surrounded by puppies and dogs, and she finds one and she's like, oh, I'm in love with this dog. And achoo! Oh, achoo! Oh, Fred. There's Fred. He's worried that I'm allergic to him or something. Fred, okay, shh. So it turns out that she starts to sneeze, and Maggie starts to get this rash. You see the rash? Oh, and she's itchy, and she's like, what is happening? What is this? And they go, are you allergic to pets? And she's like, no, I can't be allergic to pets because I want to be a veterinarian when I grow up. I can't be allergic to pets. And so she is like just floored, and she is so sad. And her parents say, it's okay. Let's just get you allergy tested and see what kind of pets you are allergic to, okay? And it ends up that she's allergic to pretty much every pet there is, okay? So all things furry and feathery makes her sneeze and break out in a bad rash. And what's even like kind of perplexing, I guess, or sad, is that she has to go to a new school. So they kind of like split their school, and she has to go to a new one in a new district, and they have a classroom pet, and the pet had to transfer to another classroom because it just made her sick. And so she felt so bad, and she said, no one's gonna like me, everyone's gonna make me like not be so mad at me because they had to move the pet to another room, and okay, so this book isn't all sad. It really isn't. It turns around. I'm not going to do any spoilers or anything like that, but she does start to get some shots that are going to help build up her resistance, and it's pretty helpful. It's pretty helpful. There is a point in this book where she sneaks in a mouse into her bedroom, and she tries to keep it secret even though she touches it and it's furry, and she's having allergic reactions, which is normal for someone who's allergic to fur. And the mice has babies, and I have had baby mice. We used to have a snake when I was younger, and we had to get mice for the snake, so we raised our mice, and the mice had babies. They don't have just one baby, they have a lot of babies. So then she had a lot of babies, and so that's kind of like a interesting way to just read the book. That's a fun little spin in the story. All right, so realistic fiction. If you like Sisters, or you're fans of Shannon Hale's Real Friends, you like that memoir type book, this is going to be a book for you. All right, so realistic fiction, graphic novel, Allergic. This is by Megan Regner Lloyd. All right, I'm moving on. All right, so you know what? When you're browsing when you're browsing at the library, all right, you're gonna go to the graphic novel, junior graphic novel section, and you're gonna find a lot of books, all right? You're gonna find things like, Where Are You, Leopold? You're gonna find things like The Sisters, and what you have to think about is, and there was another book, here it is under my pillow, you might find one about Crabapple Trouble, which is about, this is a real fun kind of fantasy graphic novel, all right? And this is about a crabapple person who's kind of has a lot of anxiety and her head pops off, and yeah, so there's those kind of books. But if you go to the other section called junior nonfiction, you're also going to find a lot of graphic novels in our junior nonfiction section, okay? So make sure you check out the junior nonfiction. You're going to be finding books about Babe Ruth, about building a robot, comic science about cars. This is a science comics book series. This is a really good one, okay? You might find also ones like this, and I think Miss Jenny talked about this series already, but she talked about a different book. So this one is about Serena Williams, all right? And Serena Williams is she's a tennis player, right? She's an American tennis player. She was a professional player. She was former world #1 women's single tennis player. Yeah, so here's some fun facts after I read this book that I learned about Serena Williams. Okay, one, she has, in 1999, Serena won her first Grand Slam, winning 23 Grand Slam single titles, the most ever won in an open era. All right, she was born in Saginaw, Michigan. Saginaw, Michigan. I'm pretty sure that is in the Thumb area. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's in the Thumb. Then they moved to Compton, California, that's where she was discovered, okay? And then they moved to Florida for training, because that's where all the tennis players go to train. Because it's, year round, it's nice outside, right? She has an older sister, her name is Venus, and she was also a professional tennis player, and a very good one. And they would actually have matches against each other, when they were competing. But her dad's like, not so many matches when they were younger, like, I want them to play together, but I don't want them to compete against each other too often. They wanted to keep them not super competitive with each other, more like sisterly love. And then one other fact is, well, I guess that's the only facts I have. If you like this series a lot, you'll find them in our biography section, in the junior nonfiction, and in the back of the book, you'll find more information for you to research. There's a glossary, and there's an athlete spotlight. So another great junior nonfiction series. All right, enough from me. It's time for you to listen to Mr. Adam, all right? He's gonna come up next and talk about some more fun summer graphic novel reads. All right, bye my friends, peace.
Thanks, Holly. Those sound like some great books. My name is Adam. I'm a librarian at the Kent District Library. I work at the Caledonia branch, or you'll find me driving around in the bookmobile. And here are some graphic novels that I wanted to recommend to you guys today. This first one is an easy recommendation. It's called Max Meow, the Cat Crusader. I'll hold it so you can see it. This is by John Gallagher. So if you have enjoyed the Dog Man books and Cat Kid, this is going to be kind of a similar thing. This is about a cat named Max, who has a friend who is a scientist, and the scientist has found what she calls a space meatball. It looks like an asteroid or a meteor or something, but it's made of meat. So it's a space meatball, and she's doing some experiments with it, trying to figure out what it is and where it came from. And there is an evil mouse who has come to try to steal it from her. And Max saves the meatball, stops the mouse, and doesn't really think about it. He eats some of the meatball, and that gives him superpowers, and he becomes the Cat Crusader. So he decides if he's going to be a superhero, he should probably help people around town. So he sets off to do what superheroes do. He can fly, he has super strength and super breath and all kinds of stuff, and he decides he's going to put those to use helping the people of the town. So it's a story that you've probably heard before, but the thing that really made it stand out to me was the fact that he doesn't always succeed. In the beginning, he has a lot of failures, and a lot of those are this evil mouse character who is still trying to get the meatball so that he can have these powers too, is kind of setting him up for failure. So he, decides he's going to pretend like he needs help, and then when Max comes to save him, he's going to drop a whole bunch of sticky stuff on people from his balloon or whatever weird thing he's got going on. So Max is really trying to help, and he ends up sort of making things worse, and people in town do not like him. So Max is also trying to start up he's got like a YouTube channel, right, where he makes these videos and tries to get people to follow him. And so he starts reporting on the Cat Crusader and all the cool things that he's doing, and people start to follow, and they think he's doing a really great job. And then they see all of these things where he messes up, and people get not necessarily hurt, but he makes the situation a lot worse. And so the public starts to get really mad at him, and they're saying, we don't want this Cat Crusader around. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's stupid. He needs to stop. And it really hurts Max's feelings, and he has to try to figure out, do I give up? How do I, change people's opinion of me? Maybe do I need to be, on social media trying to do all this stuff? Is it helpful? How can I show the world that I'm better than this? And he really has to sort of, be nicer to his friends and be more thoughtful in how he approaches these situations and make some changes. So I don't know. I thought that was really sort of a new, not necessarily a new concept, but one that I thought worked really well for this book. And it made the characters really likable, and it made for some pretty fun situations. There's all kinds of, weird stuff that happens. There's some of the meatball they use to bring a giant dinosaur to life from like a putt-putt golf course. And it tears through the city, and he's got to stop it. So there's lots of action. It's just a lot of fun. So I would check that one out for sure. If you are a fan of like Dogman and Cat Kid or Captain Underpants or any of those types of like the Dave Pilkey books, this is one that I think is a pretty easy recommendation for people who like that. So let's take a look at what we've got next. All right, time for another book. This is called Sanity and Tallulah Field Trip, and it's by Molly Brooks, who wrote the words and drew all the pictures. And I didn't realize until right now that this is actually number 2 in this series. So these are books that you can definitely read on their own. You don't have to follow any particular order. It might help if you do, but I read this one and it was great just as it is. So you don't have to read them necessarily in order. It is about some friends who live in space on like a space station, and they've never been to a planet. So their field trip, that's the title, is to go down to a planet and see what is it like. What is it like when there's gravity? What is it like what is dirt? What is grass? Like, how do things grow? What is the atmosphere like? What is rain? That kind of stuff. The stuff that we just take for granted because we live on a planet where that happens all the time are things that these people haven't really experienced before. So they're going to go down to this mining colony, right? There's a planet where they're mining some things that they use, some different like materials and metals and stuff that they use on their space stations. And when they get to like the dock where they're going to, so they're at this little space station dock, and they're about to head down to the planet, and they have these like drones, right, that shoot lasers to break up asteroids that are coming. Because there's all these asteroids in this area, but this particular planet has all of this really great resource that they really need. So even though it's in this like asteroid belt, they have developed these drones that are going to blast away the asteroids. Well, the drones malfunction. They don't recognize these asteroids that are coming in, and they crash into the space station, and people have to make like emergency exits down to the planet. And they kind of get split up. So Sanity and Tallulah get separated from the rest of the group, and they end up in this other lady's spaceship. So there's somebody who's there who is like touring the planet with this mining company, thinking maybe they would give them some business. And she's kind of weird, she's acting kind of strange. She doesn't like the kids being around. And they end up in her spaceship, and they drive it down to the planet. And they crash land, and they're separated from their class, who ends up on a different part of the planet. And when they look through this lady's spaceship, they realize that she's stolen a bunch of this like special mineral that they can use to do all kinds of cool stuff. And it's like super expensive, right? This is like a miracle compound. I don't even remember what they call it, but and she's stolen like a ton of it. So this lady, who is also like now crashed on the planet with the group of like actual students, is trying to make it back to her spaceship so that she can recover all of this stolen stuff. So while they're all trying to get back together and find a way off this planet, they realize something even weirder is going on, aside from this lady trying to steal all of this special space mineral. They find an actual mining, like the part of the mining company who is on this planet, and Tallulah and Sanity end up with them, and they learn that the planet is hollow inside. There are these things that they call them bees, I think, or hornets, and because they buzz, but they look like a space jellyfish almost, and they live inside the planet, and they eat like the rock of the planet. And they've been using them to mine all of this stuff. Well, they've mined so much that the planet is now like all off kilter, and that's why the drones didn't destroy the asteroids like they were supposed to, because they weren't in orbit where they were supposed to be, because this planet is like hollow now. It doesn't rotate and revolve the way it's supposed to, because they overmined it. So the planet is going to get hit by this giant asteroid that's coming, and it's going to explode. It's going to destroy the whole planet, so they all have to get off. And so they all have to learn how to like kind of work together. And these kids who, you know, people kind of look at them and are like, oh, these kids are here in my mining company. What are they doing? End up like building a spaceship and saving the day. And they have to use all this rare mineral that they have and work with the bees on this, you know, these space jellyfish things that eat these rocks, to try to make like a last escape attempt to get off this exploding planet and back to the space station where they came from, where they're safe. It's really good. There's tons of action. It was really good. It kept me right on the edge of my seat. I don't think I put it down until I was finished with it. It was really great. If you are interested in space, if you like sci-fi, this is definitely a book to check out. There's all kinds of really cool stuff going on in it, and it just sort of rockets really quickly from one thing to the next. There's always something just about to, you know, hurt our heroes. There's always just one obstacle that they can't quite overcome. And yeah, it was really, really good. The artwork in it is really great too. I love, you know, the colors that they use. If you check it out, you'll see it's just a really good looking book, and it's a really action-packed one. So if you are looking for a great sci-fi action thriller, that's the one to check out. All right, here is a recommendation for some of our younger elementary readers. This is Pizza and Taco, Who's the Best? This is by Stephen Shashkan. And I don't know, what is better, do you think, pizza or tacos? I go back and forth all the time. I don't know, I can't pick a favorite. One day it's pizza and the next day it's tacos. So this book tries to answer that question, who is the best? And when we start the book, taco and pizza are best friends. Best friends. And they do everything together, and they start competing a little bit, right? So at first they're just playing and they're having fun. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of like an Elephant and Piggy type book. So you have these two best friends who are going to talk, so you just read a lot of like the word bubbles back and forth. This is a great one to read with, you know, mom or dad. Have one of them read a part and you can read the other part, or brother and sister, or, you know, whoever you want to work on your reading skills with. It's fun to break it up and have one person do pizza and one person do taco. There are a couple other characters too. The other best friend group is pizza and taco. That's these two. The other best friends are hamburger and hot dog. So they also show up in this book a little bit. And as they start to play, they start to compete a little bit, pizza and taco, to figure out who is the best. Who's the best dancer? Who is the best at going down the water slide? Who is the best, I don't know, tasting? All kinds of stuff. So they start to argue a little bit. And they have these competitions to see, well, who's best? Pizza's a better dancer, but taco is a lot more fun at the water park. Or, can make the biggest splash. That kind of thing. So then they decide they're going to have a vote, and, who can possibly be the best? And as they go, they kind of hurt each other's feelings, right? I don't know if you've ever had a competition with your friends, but when you start trying to say, I'm better than you at this, that tends to hurt people's feelings, right? Because they feel like, well, they're not good at that then, even if that's not necessarily the case. So this is a book that's all about learning how to be friends without competing and hurting each other's feelings, and learning how to see the best in everybody. So you're right, I might not be the best answer, you may be better at that, but I also have things that I am good at, and recognizing that those things together are what make us great friends. So this is a great one for that. This is another one that is good for early readers just in the same way. This is called Bats. I think there are a couple of these. This is number 2, and it's called The Good, the Bad, and the Cowbats. So this is about, again, 2 friends. This is about 2 robot friends who live on a robot planet. And in this particular adventure, they go to like a dude ranch where they learn how to be cowboys. Cowbots, if you will. And while they're there, they cause some trouble. And so they do things like go into the saloon and learn how to ride a bull and to ride on a horse and do that kind of thing. And the person who's showing them around is supposed to be like the sheriff of this town, and he's pretty shady. And as you keep going, and as you read, you realize that he's actually not the sheriff. He's a bandit who's come into town and who's going to rob the stagecoach. And he's going to do it with the whole class of robots who are there on this field trip, and he's going to blame it on them. And he's going to take all the loot that he gets back to his other bandits in their hideout, where they have kidnapped the real sheriff, and so that's the plan. And as these 2 friends are on their field trip, they figure out what the plan is. They've realized that this guy isn't really what he says he is. And they end up riding this big mechanical bull and sort of messing things up for him. And it's just a lot of fun. It's really wacky. There's all kinds of funny jokes in here. This is another one that if you like sort of the Dave Pilkey, Captain Underpants or Ricky Ricotta type books, that same type of humor is going to be in here, just more robot centric. It's really pretty good. So this, I should say, is written by Russ Boltz. And it's illustrated by somebody named Jay Cooper. So they wrote this together, and it's just really wacky. It's a lot of fun. If you like robots, definitely check it out. If you like things that are, just funny adventures where people keep sort of stumbling into the wrong thing and it causes a lot of trouble, this is one to check out. It's a lot of fun. All right. Those are all the books that I have to recommend today. I hope there's something there for everybody, something there that will spark your interest a little bit. And that you'll find enjoyable. So, as always, you can find these at Kent District Library, this and all kinds of other stuff. You can go to kdl.org, O-R-G, to our website to browse our catalog and to look through all kinds of fun stuff. You'll find book recommendations like these and tons of others when you check that out. So be sure to come visit us at the branches and check us out online. We'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.